What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome back to a special WrestleMania weekend edition of Wrestling with Omer. I am your host, Omer Q, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour or so talking about the wonderful, wacky, wild world of professional wrestling. And specifically about how this week in WWE has been an absolute fucking disaster from a PR standpoint. All that and much more coming up right here in this video, in this stream. I'm so used to saying that. Hopefully you guys are liking the new video essay style videos. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is, ready for WrestleMania. Whether or not you're enjoying the build, I think we can all agree there is something spectacular about WrestleMania every single year, regardless of the build not being good, regardless of this year probably not living up to previous years, as we will get into. It's been a while. Hopefully you guys can hit that like button too, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got David in the chat. Is AEW actually better than WWE right now? If you were asking my opinion, I would say yes. From a product standpoint, yes. Overall, I mean, financially, no, but they're both financial successes. WWE is just a whole different stratosphere. But from a product standpoint, I would say that it is going to be very hard for WWE to have a match this weekend that lives up to the likes of Konosuke Takeshita versus Will Ospreay. That was just an insane match. And overall, man, those shows that AEW ran from Boston, especially Dynamite, had a special vibe. One of the greatest episodes of AEW Dynamite, probably of all time. Just like this is going to be one of the greatest episodes in the history of Wrestling with Omer. I almost said the wrong. I have so many different shows that I do, and a lot of them have a variation of my name or a variation of the letter O. So it's just it's kind of cooked sometimes, boys. Anyway, guys, keep those questions coming. We got a lot to get into. I am going to talk about why I do believe that this week in WWE has been a bit of a PR nightmare for the company. Actually, not even a bit of a PR nightmare. It's been a complete fucking PR nightmare because everyone is talking about WWE for the wrong reasons. This week, WWE is the talk of the town when it comes to Vegas. There is talk of the entire media landscape, but nobody is actually talking about WrestleMania, and to me, that's the issue, right? Let's take a look and recap some of the things that have happened over the past couple of days. You can see here, it kind of started here with these comments that were made by President Nick Khan about AEW. Let's take a listen.
Could make the case. Last year it seemed like no. Now it just seems like you guys are all powerful again, and AEW is not a rival in the same way. Their kind of moment, just I have no dog in the race. I don't really care, but it's just from afar. It seems like their moment came and gone, and they're just firmly number two now.
Well, look, we're always the underdog at WWE. We always feel that people underestimate when contractually
their moment came and gone, and they're
that we're looked down upon.
We're always the underdog, in WWE is always going to be such a fucking hilarious line to me. They're the richest and most profitable they've ever been. They have more connections than they've ever had. They just merged with Endeavor at a $9 billion valuation. Underdog. Come on, bro. Come on.
And we like it that way. Bet against us. We prefer that. And allow us to show you what we can do.
Short our stock. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know about
you can literally do it. Go ahead. Bet against us.
Bet against us. If you look at the stock price now, it's far in excess of what it was when we all started together 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And, we're quite proud of that. And at the same time, we got to keep, re-earning our keep on a daily basis here. So we feel like it's a good moment, but we still feel like there's a lot of room for growth in terms of the other wrestling promotional company. They have a lot of talented wrestlers, and we're happy about that. When contractually, they're available to be, talked to and have conversations with, assume a number of them will come over, and nothing but respect for the father who
that was way too nice.
Finances it and owns the Jaguars and all those other things.
That was very pleasant.
Was it very pleasant, Bill? Was it very pleasant? You know what is very pleasant? Wall Street Money paying a visit. What's up, Wall Street Money? So it started off with that, Nick Khan taking a shot at Tony Khan and AEW, but that wasn't the only thing that happened. I already made a video about this in part, so you guys can go check that out for my full commentary. But Roman Reigns had this big Vanity Fair piece about him where he revealed not only that he only has like probably 2 or 3 more years left in professional wrestling, But he probably revealed a little bit too much about his political stances, got the entire internet buzzing. One person was giving us information, one person was answering questions. So it wasn't that hard. When asked if that means he backed Trump, Reigns pauses for a few seconds. I support the president. Trump is one of those guys where he's got a vast history and a huge background. It kind of sounds like Trump when he said, look, vast history, huge background. It's the biggest background I've ever seen. Look at it. Look at how big that background is. By God. He's in big business. Politics. At this point, I'm supporting a bright future for our country. It's going to be the brightest one. It's going to be the brightest one we've ever seen. Positive and competent leadership for us to be what we're supposed to be. That's right. To be a world leader and carry that respect, to do her like this is like he's literally I feel like he put in ChatGPT like, hey, how would Trump answer this? Anyway, point is, people started crashing out online because of those comments. These also came just hours after Triple H made similar comments about Trump and kind of, talking him up. Again, we should not be surprised by this. Triple H supports Linda McMahon. He was at the confirmation hearing. He has taken pictures with Trump in the past. He's met with Trump in the past at UFC events. Like, come on. Don't be surprised at Triple H being a Trump supporter. I certainly am not. He basically compared, though, Trump's actions to heat, which is fucking hilarious. And I saw this tweet that I'm getting ahead of myself. I got a lot of energy, guys. I got a lot of energy right now, as you can tell. We did have some new pieces that came in, though, recently, right? So along with those more political pieces that people were talking about, you had two other pieces that had the entire internet a-buzzing. First, Triple H, in some comments, he had some criticisms for wrestling fans who he believes over-critique the product. He doesn't believe that fans should basically be thinking about, what happens next or fantasy booking. Just enjoy the ride were the gist of the comments. And he responded to them, to like the backlash that he got because of those comments here.
Believer that if I ask you to go watch it, I tell you I saw a movie, thought it was great, you should go see it. Mm-hmm. You just go see it. You're a fan. You go watch it. You come back. You like it. You didn't. Whatever. If I say, go watch that movie, give me a report on it, tell me all the things that worked, all the things that didn't. You go watch that movie differently. Yeah. Right. That's my point. At some point, you loved this. You loved it more than anything, and you grew up watching it, and you're invested, and you went as a fan. And then some reason you got into being a critic, or somebody asked you to be a critic, and now you're hypercritical. To me, that ruins the experience for people. I don't want to go watch a movie or anything else and just criticize everything I see in it. I just want to go see if I enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
People will criticize this. I don't put a lot of stock into what is on the internet unless it follows through to other things we do, right? So if they're, when Jey Uso won the Rumble, there were a lot of people that had their thoughts and comments and opinions on that, which is at the end of the day all they are. But there are 15,000 people in a venue, and as Pat said, it's been sold out all the time, yeeting and going absolutely crazy when he comes out, including him, right? So who do we listen to? The few people, you know what I mean, or the large crowd? And that's the thing. So we're fortunate enough to have a focus group every single night of a lot of people that are really in that moment fans, not being critics, not being anything else.
I mean, okay, I don't inherently disagree with anything Triple H had to say about, sometimes people becoming overly critical about products or whatever. But I'm also like, bro, like, people talk about how dumb movies are all the time. Like, I don't know, like, if I'm like watching Avengers or something shit, right, I'm gonna watch that shit and I'm gonna be like, all right, yeah, like, it was really fine until they did all that multiverse bullshit and then, like, got rid of all the story. Like, you're gonna have people fucking complain. You're just mad. That's the thing. I'm sorry, man. Triple H is giving off big snowflake energy from this bullshit, bro. He's just, the people complain. They just need to enjoy the ride. It is fine. People are going to come to your shows and enjoy. That is a good thing. You should be worried about the live crowd is doing. But at the same time, man, like, don't pretend like this is a new thing that's made to attack WWE. Don't pretend like this isn't done in like other mediums. Bro, I'm just like, talk to normal people. That I don't know, man. It just seems like bullshit. We got Just Humble in the chat saying Triple H needs to remember that he listened to the critics when he put the belt on Cody Rhodes. That wasn't listening to critics. I was listening to like basic common sense in my view, but he didn't book it like he was listening to the critics. That's what I'll say. He should be talking about WrestleMania. Every one of these people should be talking about WrestleMania. WWE loved themselves some AEW talent. Yeah. Shout out Nick Khan. That Dynamite episode, though. We will talk about that Dynamite episode, though. We will. The last thing I did want to bring up about WWE just getting in their own way this week. We had these comments by one Jonathan Cena saying the following, quote, John Cena admits he still loves Vince McMahon. John, not the week. Not the week. Yo, I swear to God, I woke up this morning. I saw this headline. I was just like, bro. Like, John Cena. Like, of all the people who could have, like, taken away from WrestleMania week, I did not expect John Cena, coming off of all of the backlash that WWE's faced based on all these comments. I did not expect Cena to come out with this whopper. I don't care who hears it. I love Vince. I'm not downplaying anything that needs to be decided or allegations or any of that kind. But when I love somebody, I love them wholeheartedly. I know people are going to be angry about that, but they can't put their value on my relationship with somebody I love. And here's the thing. I am not going to deny John Cena, probably does love Vince McMahon. I am not going to deny that. I am not even going to say that, you having a personal relationship with someone who you've been close to, who is a flawed human being, even as flawed and as disgusting as Vince McMahon seemingly is, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to crucify John Cena for that. What I will say is, in the context of everything that's happened leading up to Mania, it just seemed really fucking stupid to say this in this interview. John Cena is like probably one of the most like media savvy people that WWE has. I did not expect him in the fallout of everything that's happened over the past week. I did not expect him to do this. And then we got this tweet by Visionary Mike that kind of lays out all of the different shenanigans that have happened this week. Nick Khan, yeah, so fuck AEW, right? Triple H, Trump is good, actually. Roman Reigns, acknowledge Trump. Well, he says Trump is actually good. Good. Triple H, fuck you, my creative isn't bad. John Cena, I love Vince McMahon. It is this is wild as fuck. I gotta say, this is wild as fuck. Because all this shit basically did happen. Now, look, again, you guys all know me. You guys kind of know what I'm about at this point. You guys know that when I talk politics, I'm going to tell you how I feel. But this is even less to do with, like, politics, right? Let's for a second, right? Let's take politics out of it. I'm putting my public relations PR hat on right now, my media relations hat on right now. This is the most important week of the year for WWE, hands down. There is no bigger week. There is no better week. You want positive attention on what's going to happen on your biggest show of the year, hands down. But by God, everyone is talking about WWE, yet nobody in their right mind is talking about Mania. WrestleMania is beyond an afterthought at this point. Beyond, if you're just casually scrolling online and you're like looking at WWE shit, you're just like, bro, like what the fuck? Trump. Like you're like, what? And look, the non-zero chance Trump ends up showing up at WrestleMania, which would break the internet. I genuinely believe that shit would break the internet. But I think it's just like poor PR from a company that over the past couple of years with Chris Legento leading it was very good at PR and has been traditionally very good at PR. it does seem like Chris Legento was moved into a different position in WWE, a promotion of some kind. And you could argue probably the worst week and worst time to do it because, my God, WWE let the chains loose and people are crashing out like crazy. My point isn't even about like making this larger political point, even though I think like, hey man, if Roman's out here supporting Trump, he's opening himself up for that one. That's on him. But my bigger point is like, again, this is the most important week of your entire year. And all people are really hearing and the vibe about it is some of your wrestlers support Trump. John Cena loves Vince McMahon. And Triple H is soy because, people don't like his booking. And, I'm the game and this is what I do. Like, man, this is some weak shit, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you already had a horrible build to WrestleMania. Like, if the build to WrestleMania was good, if the build to WrestleMania was decent, if the build to WrestleMania made fucking sense, I don't think it would be as big of a problem. But you combine that with a horrible build to Mania, man, you're digging yourself a hole that you can't dig yourself out of. Yes, when Mania happens, the aura, the mystique, that's the pageantry of WWE. Like all the shit Michael Cole is gonna say when he intros Mania. Yeah, sure, that's gonna happen. But at the same time, man, I don't think anyone's excited about Mania in the way they traditionally have been. Whether it's because of the booking, whether it's because you probably scared them off with some of the political stuff, whether it's because you probably scared them off with the John Cena loving, glazing Vince McMahon, whether or not it's because they got scared off because Triple H is soy because people say he can't book. I mean, I'm just like, man, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Please. We got Ryan in the chat saying, how weird is it to be me, a conservative AEW fan who doesn't watch WWE? Hey, man, I'm sure there's more conservative AEW fans who don't watch WWE out there. There's definitely more of y'all out there. But, here's the thing. Like I said, take politics out of it, right? Like, it is just, like, it's bad business, in my view. It's bad business, in my view. Because, what the reaction's going to be, regardless of, there's a whole different conversation about whether you think it's right or wrong, but you know what the reaction's going to be. This is not the week to be doing it. Like, of all the weeks for Roman Reigns and Triple H to have a political awakening, it is not WrestleMania week, bro. It's like this is not the time to do it. It's just dumb business. Triple H going out there and being like, oh, the fans don't like what I say. What the hell are we doing here? You're Triple H, bro. Just book the show better. Like, what are we... I'm animated, guys. I'm animated. But shout out to Ryan Davis. WWE Cody Era says, why would they have Cena turn heel only to show up 3 out of 6 weeks on Raw to confront Cody? Aura. I mean, you want the answer. It's because they're coasting on Aura right now, and they feel like they can get away with not having their premier talent on TV as often. That's really what it is. Michelle in the chat says, I don't care about politics or their friendships. It's their personal business, but Triple H's comments are the worst. They need to have all the focus. I mean, there's Triple H's comments. There's Nick Khan's comments about, less so about, stealing AEW talent or whatever. That's business. But, bro, my boy Nick Khan out here saying that WWE doesn't park people when you brought Omos back from Japan to park him and do nothing. What are we doing? What are we doing here, bro? Come on. Exactly. WWE's trying to be a global brand. You have to move better. I'm just saying, I'm not even, dude, I am, look, I have experience in PR, all that stuff. I don't particularly think myself as, an aggressive PR guy. Man, even I'm reading this. I'm like, come on, but put a button on this. Finish this up. Don't let this fester for so long. Don't let people continue to talk about it. And look, if I'm gonna be honest, on a more personal note too, I'm bro, so Roman can kind of glaze Trump, but Sami Zayn isn't allowed to talk about Palestine. What are we doing here? Whatever. Is John Cena going to be on SmackDown tonight? I hope so. He better be. He really better be. If John Cena isn't on SmackDown, man, and they're just hoping and praying that WrestleMania is enough, it's gonna be an interesting reception for him, I think. Yes, Cena is advertised for SmackDown tonight. They said that last week. Okay, great. I did not watch SmackDown last week because SmackDown is an unwatchable mess of a show. Especially like the last week, because I've been sick too. Like my viewing's been down. I did watch Raw. I watched Dynamite. I watched Collision. Did not watch NXT yet. Probably won't get a chance to before Mania. I plan on watching most of SmackDown tonight later. But yeah, man, like I hope they do something big with Cena, because you need a big angle. You need a big angle to get people talking before Mania. I think that would help WWE a lot right now, given the horrible, disastrous PR situation they're in. But yeah, they really need something big leading into Mania. As far as WWE goes, I think it's obvious it's not as big as the last 2 years. I think WWE diehards have to admit that, right? Mania, 100%. It's not as big as it's been the last couple of years. 100%. Like this, especially the build has been awful. The aura or whatever is just, this is not there. It doesn't feel like the matches aren't even as good. Like Cena and Cody, which is the biggest match you have on that entire weekend, right? It just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it's a big main event level match. Like it is, but it's like the aura isn't there. The vibe isn't there. Feels like Triple H wants to take all the praise but none of the blame. Yeah. And I mean, it's something we've talked about with Tony too. Tony has done a similar thing. I would say Tony's probably been a little bit more open about criticism than Triple H has, but like they've both been kind of bad about it. But Triple H, man, this week made it abundantly effing clear. Nah, I don't want any of y'all talking about my product. No one is allowed. Look. You don't watch something just to talk about how bad it is. You don't watch something and then talk about how it could have been better. Even though everyone did that with Game of Thrones. Everyone did that with The Walking Dead. Everyone did that with name any major show of the last like 10 fucking years. Everyone's done that. But Triple H, look, it's a global brand I'm building, all right? It's a global brand. It's what I do. What we do here. It's not just wrestling. It's about my ego, all right? Look, my ego is bigger than it's ever been. We're selling out houses. We're breaking record gates. It's all because of my brain. And look, what we do here, which is stroke my ego, what we do here, nobody does it like we do, all right? And I think it's absolutely spectacular what we're doing here, because no one does what we do like we do. And it's a global brand. It's a global ego stroke. Global ego stroke. Like that's what he's reduced it to. He's like, watch my product and like it. Otherwise, don't watch it. And like, if that's what you're saying, that's fine. But don't pretend. Don't pretend like you're open for like fucking criticism. We got Jay Barnacles in the chat. Shout out to Seattle. What's up, Omer? Not looking forward to WrestleMania. The build has been trashed. The set is cool, though. I have not had a chance to see the set. I'll probably pull it up in a second. The set is cool, though. Just saw that you were live and showing some love. It's a time for All In yet. Well, first of all, Jay Barnacles, appreciate the love. Appreciate you tuning in, man. You are a pillar in like the watching like wrestling community. This is what you know. I've seen you in other chats. I've seen you in like Fightful and like Ango and like all those other chats. So shout out to you, my good friend. I appreciate you. If you're watching me, that means I'm doing something right. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm like, here's the thing, man. Like, I am good. I'm one of those people like I'm always going to watch WrestleMania. I mean, this year it's going to be like a bit of a bit harder because night 2. I'm probably gonna be at a wedding, but I'm always going to watch WrestleMania, but by God, man, it is hard to get into this year. It is really hard. Because 40 I went to. That's how into WrestleMania 40 I was. Because I was like, look, Cody Rhodes going to win. Sami versus Gunther, amazing match. Cannot wait. Rock appearing for the first time in a match in almost a decade. I'm there. 39, spectacular. One of the best WrestleManias ever, especially night one. I think that ranks up there with the greatest WrestleManias of all time. This does not hold a candle. This does not hold a fucking toilet brush or whatever the fuck to any of this. I'm cursing a lot today. I apologize, chat. I'm animated. This Baja Blast is kicking in. Let's go. All right, we got Cody Era saying AEW is going to Mexico, Scotland, London, Australia in 2025, expanding borders. Yep, and they're going back to Australia in 2026. They're going back to Wembley Stadium in London in 2026 as well. So definitely have some big ones. We got Abdu in the chat saying, Omer, everyone is talking about Dynamite, but I want to hear your thoughts about Collision. I feel like the Death Riders end is coming soon. I'll talk about this real quick. So by the way, guys, be sure to smash that thumbs up. I see there's 27 of you in here. Be sure to hit that like button if you're in here. It only takes a second. Thoughts on Collision? Collision was a fun show. Collision usually is a pretty fun show. This week, I think that we got a bit of a... AEW probably knew that the Death Rider stuff was bad. I think as of Dynasty, they did not realize how bad it was for the fans. I think the backlash that they got following Dynasty may have wakened them up. That being said, I just don't foresee Moxley losing the belt at Double or Nothing. It seems like Joe is the guy for that show. It seems like they're going to continue that. But I really do believe that Jon Moxley will lose the title at All In. After watching the way they ended Dynamite, after watching what went down on Collision, after watching the vibe of that, like Dynamite to me, it genuinely felt like one of those like old like Nitro shows, like, you know, where the babyface would have a big victory and everybody would be celebrating, and it feels like he just conquered the NWO. Only I hope to God it's not like the NWO where it's like Hogan comes back, like we don't need none of that. I don't need no wow, like I don't need Moxley's music hitting and then winning the titles back. None of that, but I do think it was a step in the right direction. I hope that this was a bit of a realization for them. And I think it's a no-brainer for Ospreay at All In. Ospreay has to be the guy, in my view. Ryan Davis says, yeah, good for AEW. I think they'll do good in Mexico City because they're pushed Lucha Libre fairly hard. I'm curious to see what they do with Grand Slam Mexico. I mean, that's a show that I fully expect them, and I believe they are co-promoting with CMLL, so they will have like an extra push for tickets there. So I foresee there to be a lot of lucha integration. Bandito is probably going to be a major part of that show, I would expect. There's no secret and no surprise that they're doing this. And then Roosh is suddenly back on TV. I do think that there are going to be big plans, especially for the Lucha Stars in AEW for that show. And I think they'll draw a pretty good house there, too. Okay, I'm getting some questions here about KTR. We got Wall Street Money say KTR is back when Kenny Omega came back to Wrestle Dynasty. No, shout out to KTR for that. I mean, it is true. It is the best return, even better than Kenny Omega's. By the way, Kiss the Ring is back with upload. Shout out to Kenny Bomb and Just Brian. Can we look forward to you making special appearances? I hope so. Yeah. I'll address the KTR thing. I mean, there's not much to address. I will say, but I did see some comments, and I want to make it abundantly clear to anyone who may be watching and in that comment section. I am like in constant communication with Brian, Kenny, and Keto like every single day. So there's no beef. There's none of that. My schedule is just cooked. Could not continue cooking at the level needed, and I did not want to put like any extra pressure on them. I will try to make appearances whenever I can. I genuinely enjoy talking wrestling with those guys. Even though Kenny knows how to get under my skin. But no, those are the homies. Hope you'll probably see me on there eventually. But yeah, man. No, shout out to them. Go subscribe to youtube.com/KissTheRingYT. Great wrestling content. Some wild opinions. I ain't gonna lie. Some wild opinions from Kenny sometimes. But and Brian be glazing a lot. He be glazing WWE a lot, way more than I'm comfortable with. But no, those are the boys. They're very, very talented creators as well, like in their own right. Like Brian has, like, I would say one of the best like up and coming wrestling gaming channels there is. Kenny has one of the best wrestling gaming channels there is. So go check them out. That's just Brian YT and Kenny Bomb. Two of the best. There is no beef. Bro, had no beef with Brian and Kenny every time he was on the... No beef, man. There's never been any beef. Except when Will Hobbs is out there slapping meat. Then there's a lot of beef. All right. What else we got? Hangman is my pick. I think Hangman is probably my number 2 as well. But, excuse me. I just think Will Ospreay's... It's his time right now. We got Ryan Davis with a question. Does it feel like WWE are missing a dominant heel like Lesnar to challenge the over babyface right now? Yeah, I mean, you had Roman for such a long time as a dominant heel champion, and I think you are kind of missing that. And you are missing that like heel in the background. Like I genuinely thought they were going to do Jacob Fatu in that role, and I think he'd still be great in that role. They just didn't go full force with him. I think Gunther will settle into that role very quickly, a lot quicker than people expect when he does lose the belt tomorrow. There's a couple of people in that men's division I expect to have that. And look, if Saraya comes back, or Paige, whatever, I think that women's division is going to have like a very big heel as well that they're going to have to deal with. And Mariah May is likely coming into WWE, so that's another one. And I really hope they don't put her in NXT because I just don't think that would be wise for them to do. I think she's a main event level act, and you got to treat her as such. So I think both the men's and women's divisions are going to have that coming in. It's just going to take some time. They're in a bit of an adjustment period when it comes to those belts too, because you're still trying to really prop up and make credible that world championship, that new world championship that Gunther holds, and then at the same time, Roman was the last champion before Cody for that WWE championship, right? So it's like not like it was like that long ago, and he was champion for like 3 years. So they're just in a weird period, right? They're just in a weird period with those belts in that main event division. Eric Douglas says, I just thought of something. Does Darby beating Moxley have to be for the world championship? Maybe it's just he beats Moxley after he loses the belt to Ospreay. I would hope that Tony Khan came to that same conclusion. And I think Darby will and should hold the world title at some point. I just don't think it's right now. And I think a good booker, which I still believe that both Triple H and Tony Khan, for what it's worth, are capable of being, I think a good booker understands when to make adjustments. I think a good booker understands when, to tweak a plan, especially when it's like unnecessary to move forward with a plan like Darby Allin as the world champion. Shout out to Darby, though. Some videos and images surface of that man climbing Mount Everest, and he's on that climb, baby. He's on that climb. Woo! All right, let's do this. Let's check out the stage, because I have not seen the stage for WrestleMania. Excuse me. Still getting over this cold, guys. Guys, by the way, be sure to smash that thumbs up like there's no tomorrow. It really, really helps out. It helps out more than you know. You guys know I don't try to shill too much super chats, but please, please, please leave a thumbs up. It helps so, so much. All right. Let's take a look at this stage reveal. So Pat McAfee had the exclusive stage reveal for the WWE set.
City, baby!
Let's see. All right, here it is. So this is the stage reveal. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit because I don't want to get copyright stricken. All right, so I do think that this is pretty freaking cool. Oh, whoops. I do think that this is pretty freaking cool, if I may say so. Like, it is just a massive, like, big casino stage. And it's less of like that LED shit that they used to have. It looks like they built it. It looks like it is, constructed. Shout out to the pyro. Shout out to all of that. But it looks so cool. And you know what I really love? I love those whatever we want to call those, like dominoes or whatever, or I guess they're cards, right? Yeah, they're poker cards. Those like poker card screens that they got on the top. It kind of reminds me of like an updated version of WrestleMania 22 when they had like all of the wrestlers like names all across and around the arena. It just looks really cool. All right. And is that Steph? Yeah, all right. None of that bullshit. Shout out to Stephanie McMahon, but there was a headline. Hold up. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was Fightful. There was a headline about her podcast that like enraged me. Let me see. Jeez, do not look up Stephanie McMahon on Twitter. The results are wild. Yeah, all right. I have to do a bit of okay. I think I found this here. Jesus Christ, you guys are wild. All right, yeah. So this was it. This is the thing that was like, apparently Stephanie McMahon reveals no douchebag rule for her podcast in premiere episode with Dana White, which is pretty ironic because I want to talk about douchebags. Didn't this dude? I'm gonna say anything. I mean, didn't like Dana White, the dude who like did the most douchebag thing ever and like slapped his wife? Like, come on, bro, come on. You want to talk about douchebags? And that's the dude you decide to have a podcast on and talk about it with? I'm just saying, man. We got comics in the chat. I would have to see an AEW special of Darby preparing to climb Mount Everest. Yeah, if I'm AEW, I would make like a whole like documentary about it. That'd be really cool. God, Jay Barnacle. None of that. None of that bullshit. Yeah. Jesus, man. Y'all are wild. Yo, the internet is crazy. It's insane how I'm just gonna say it, man. It's insane how horny Twitter is. It's just wild, bro. It's wild. I can't be on that app anymore. It's just insane. Do you think Roman will jump and wrestle Omega in July at All In? It would be wild. It would be crazy if that happened. Ain't no chance it's happening. He has a contract for at least the next year, and then he expects to... Actually, that Vanity Fair article that I was talking about earlier, he did an interview. Roman expects to finish out in WWE and then move on to Hollywood, which is what he probably should do. Daniel in the chat says, in Yankee Stadium in October for AEW. Man's manifesting it. Ideal all-in main event. I think at this rate, it should be Mox versus Ospreay. For the soul of AEW. And that world championship, please. Yeah, I agree with Omer. Are you talking about Twitter being cooked? Because it is, man. Like, it's just, man. We know you're bookmarking the tweets. Hey, man, you always want to see, I'll show you my bookmarks. Like, my shout out to the feed. My bookmarks are literally like, just like, it's stuff that I pull up on this stream. It's literally stuff that I pull up on this stream. Some based stuff. Like, yeah. It's just like, yeah. My bookmarks are not like, there's some other people out there. You don't want them bookmarks. I remember, y'all remember like a while ago, there was like that rumor that bookmarks were going to become public, like how likes used to be. And then everyone went bookmarked everything that was in there because they all thought it was going to be private forever. Whew, man, that's a dangerous proposition for some people out there. But no, my bookmarks are like pretty nerdy, to be honest with you. It's like either news stuff about like politics or mostly news stuff about pro wrestling, to be honest with you. That's it. It's mostly news stuff about pro wrestling. Ryan in the chat said, if I'm AEW, I wouldn't stress Mariah jumping ship as long as you keep Timeless. You can build another challenger. I agree. And like, look, this is what we talked about when we say that AEW being around is a good thing. This is part of the reason, man. It gives people like Mariah May a chance to prove themselves that if WWE is the place you want to end up, and look, that is fine within her right. She should want to go to WWE. She should want to go wherever she wants, right? But again, AEW not only gave her a place to own her craft, but it also is going to be able to help her leverage and get a better deal in WWE. And if she doesn't get a better deal in WWE, Tony Khan's going to offer her money. She wins. She wins. And that is a good thing. Will Roman comments hurt him in the long run? Omer, put your PR hat on. Is Roman Reigns' image damaged right now? I mean, no. Long run, no. Because, like, I mean, look. All of, like, the top, like, podcasters and a lot of the top artists in the world, like, were at, like, Trump's inauguration, right? Like, from the Joe Rogans, the Theo Vons, the Lex Friedmans, the Snoop Dogg was at his inauguration, right? Like, it is what it is. It's not gonna, like, change anything for him, I think, in the long run. I think, like, in the context of this being a week where WWE has just done a very, very poor job of positioning WrestleMania as the attraction, done a very poor job of getting you excited about WrestleMania, combined with the fact that they are just a lot of them are getting way too into these controversies. And, like, Trump is a controversial topic. He's the president of the United States, but half the country hates him. It is a controversial topic. Like, whether we want to admit it or not, like, I don't think it's going to hurt him in the long run, because at the end of the day, people don't view him as, like, a political figure. People don't view him as, like, a political commentator. They view him as Roman Reigns. He's a wrestler, right? And I think most people aren't going to look to him as, like, the bastion of, like, whatever's right. They're just going to be like, all right, yeah, he's a wrestler. I think Tua Tagovailoa is a good quarterback, right? I'm not going to take political advice from Tua Tagovailoa. It's like the same thing. Yeah. Anyway, we got Wall Street Money in the chat. Past Dynamite was the best I have ever seen. Ryan Davis one-ups that and says, yeah, man, Dynamite was booked really good. Collision, not so much. I thought Collision was fine. Look, and I like the fact that they're playing around with this Thursday Collision. In fact, let me see what the rating ended up being. Let me see what the rating ended up being for Collision. Because the Thursday live time slot was always available for them, but they never went, like, full on and tried that. This is, like, the first time I believe that they've been live with Collision on a Thursday. So I am very interested to see what the ratings end up being. It doesn't look like the ratings were released, but oh, did they? Wait, the ratings were released? Doesn't look like it. No. Okay. Well, I'll see if I can find anything there, but doesn't look like any ratings were released for Collision just yet. I know last week's Collision number was very good. Last week's Collision number was really good, and that was in its, like, regular time slot. Did, like, 400,000 viewers. Venue looked amazing. The crowd was hot. Yeah, that venue, especially for Dynamite, for that Dynamite show, that venue looked really dope. It looked really, really cool. Michelle in the chat says, rank Rock's heel runs: corporate Rock, Hollywood Rock, or the final boss. For me, again, this is for me. Like, the first version of The Rock that I ever saw was Hollywood Rock. And like, I was not born when corporate Rock happened. I've seen all of it. Like, I've watched, like, the vast majority of the Attitude Era at this point. Like every pay-per-view at this point, most Raws. So I've seen, like, most of what The Rock has done in his career. Final boss, I can't put it number one. I'm inclined to. I thought the stuff that he did with Cody last year was just out of this world, next level, like historic wrestling like stuff. That being said, I'm going to put Hollywood Rock as my number one. Again, I am biased in that was my first version of The Rock. I thought that was the best version of The Rock there. I would put Final Boss Rock at number 2, and then I put Corporate Rock at number 3. That's not a dig at like that era of Rock, but I think the other two had a lot more, just a lot more like, they had a lot more aura, a lot more riz. We got WWE Cody era running, AEW running the OVO Hydra is just taking a massive shot for WWE for counter-programming their pay-per-views. I don't even think it's a massive shot. Like, they had that arena booked before. They just could not announce it until after WWE, like, ran that same arena. So I don't even think it was a shot. It was just, like, they're going to be, like, this is their third time being in England. Or, sorry, in the UK, excuse me, not England, not just England. It's going to be their third time being in the UK. They did not run any Dynamites or any Collisions the first year, and the reason for that was because they wanted everybody to know that AEW All In was the show. They didn't want to risk splitting up the tickets or whatever. They were like, there's one show in town this week, and it is All In to be there, and it worked. They sold 80,000 tickets. They got a lot of butts and seats. They made the biggest gate and the biggest money that they have ever made. The next year, they started experimenting with, having a show in Cardiff and then going to London for the Wembley show. This year, they're obviously not running Wembley, so it's going to be a smaller arena. I think the Hydra, the OVO Hydra's own, or sorry, not the OVO, what is it? The O2 Arena. The O2 Arena in London holds like somewhere around like 15,000. Well, it's a smaller arena, and they already ran Cardiff, so they covered Wales last year. Now they're going to do their first show in Scotland, and they're going to see and test what that market is going to be like for them. And I think this is like slow, methodical testing of that European market. Eventually, AEW, I think, will do like a European tour. I think akin to what we saw WWE do. And they are, I would say, a while away from that being, I think, as successful as they want. But yeah, that's what they're doing. AEW have stars like Ospreay, Swerve, MJF, Lashley, Mox, Omega, and Cope. Don't say Edge. Tony Khan might yell at you. Most of these were on Dynamite. None were on Collision. I mean, yeah, you definitely got to have, Omega wasn't on Dynamite. Omega should have been on that Dynamite episode. Kenny Omega should. I don't care how you do it. I don't care what dates you got to make up or in his contract, whatever. It is the historic record-breaking episode of Dynamite. Kenny Omega is a founding father of AEW. He 100% should have been on that show. Wall Street Money asks me, what are your top 3 Dynamite episodes? Okay. So this one actually might rank up there. All right. I'm doing this off the rip. There probably is some episodes that I would put if I had a full list in front of me. All right. Okay. Ready? Let's do it. So my number 3, I would say, would be... hold up. No. Give me a sec. I actually do have to think about this. Oh, okay. No, never mind. I think I got it. All right. Number 3, Dynamite 1, the original version of AEW Dynamite, the first ever version of AEW Dynamite, the one that emanated from the nation's capital, Capital One Arena, 14,000 strong, supporting AEW. Started off the entire series hot, started off the entire company hot, and I just think one of the most historic episodes of TV television ever. That's my number 3. My number 2, and this is probably one that might shock you or surprise you, there was an episode of Dynamite that they ran out of, I believe it was Garland, Texas, in the summer of 2021. So it was right around the same time that they had just come back to touring. And it was the episode of Dynamite where Hangman Page and the Dark Order took on the Elite. And if the Elite One, Hangman would not compete for the World Championship at All Out. If Hangman and the Dark Order won, Hangman would compete for the AEW Championship at All Out. Hangman ended up losing that, but that was such a great episode. And this was like, as AEW was creeping up to that, like, that climax peak of like All Out being one of the greatest wrestling shows of all time, right around that same time of CM Punk coming into the company at the first dance, right? All that stuff. So that's my number 2. And then my number 1 is Grand Slam 2021, which I think is like, if All Out was like the peak as far as pay-per-views go for television 2021, I think Grand Slam was the peak of television for AEW. One of my favorite matches of all time. For a while, my favorite match of all time. Kenny Omega, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, one-on-one. Nothing like it. On top of that, you had CM Punk in that company at that point. You had the big match with the Super Elite on there. You had a really hot match that closed the show with Ruby Soho and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. It's a great freaking show. Omega should have been on Dynamite. Make him say, Grand Slam Australia was a fantastic show, too. I would put that more of like a special Collision, though, because it was like a Collision show. That was like technically Collision. Make him say, That's so funny. All right, how much? Let's see. All right, guys, what else we got? I got about like 30 more minutes here before I need to pop out and show. Guys, be sure to smash that thumbs up, by the way, if you haven't already. Hit that like button. It really helps out more than you'll ever know. If you guys want to guarantee your question or statement is right on the air, please be sure to leave a super chat as well. All right. What else we got, chat? What else we got? What else you got? Hit me with something. I mean, not literally. Don't actually physically harm me. That would hurt my feelings, to be honest with you. Oh, we have some. Apparently, we have some news. According to PW Insider, word is making the rounds that Lana has signed a WWE Legends contract. Shout out to Lana. We already know that Rusev has signed with the company, so that's happened. All right, we already read that. The first hour of SmackDown will be commercial free, so y'all better watch that shit. Stone Cold hyping up Mania, as is tradition. We got the Hall of Fame. Shout out to the new class of Hall of Famers. Shout out to Paul Levesque. He deserves it, even though the booking hasn't been there as of late. But Triple H definitely is the NXT booker. 1,000 million billion % for his career. Deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Michelle McCool, shout out to her. Shout out to the Natural Disasters, also deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And shout out to Lex Luger, whose career also deserves and is Hall of Fame worthy. Don't get me started on that bullshit with the immortal WWE moment. That is trash. That is bad. That is horrendous. You couldn't figure out like another person to put in, and instead you just wanted to, this is the shit I hate the most about the TKO era of WWE. It's like the blind, like absolute, like how do I'm going to be careful with this because not careful because I'm scared of anyone. I just want to make sure everyone understands me carefully. I am sick of WWE trotting out IP that they are affiliated, and by IP I mean intellectual property, IP that they are affiliated or have signed or whatever, just as meaningless vessels to create content. Shit like this. The Hall of Fame is supposed to be actually memorializing and paying homage to individuals who made an impact in wrestling. Bret Hart and Stone Cold were inducted, both of them, in the Hall of Fame respectively because of moments like these. Fine, good, great. But my God, this is just like they couldn't figure out 2 other names. They're like, what if we could induct? They're gonna find a way to induct X-Pac like 5 more fucking times. This is what I'm more mad about, man. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. I'm mad. I'm actually pissed. But you know what I'm not pissed about? My boy Kenny Baum. Leaving a $10 super chat. Shout out to Kenny Baum. Shout out to Kiss the Ring. Shout out to my boy. WrestleMania ticket donation. $10. Boy, I'm about to return this $10. In fact, if you think that's a WrestleMania donation, bro, I'm about to give you 20. I'm about to give you 20. All right? I'm about to give you 20. In fact, you know what? No, actually, I think I'm going to give everyone 20. All of you guys are about to get $20 from me. And here's how you do it. Guys, there's a link in the description below. If you want to save $20 off your first purchase with SeatGeek, all you got to do is click the link in the direction. Click the link in the description below. Click that link. You get the ticket you want, whether you're going to WrestleMania, whether you're going to AEW, whether you're going to WWE, Monday Night Raw, NFL, NBA, does not freaking matter. Concert. If you got something you want to go to, SeatGeek's got you covered, and so do I. $20 off your first purchase. You click the link in the description below. You get your ticket. You go to checkout, and you use the promo code REALTAKE. Yes, promo code REALTAKE saves you $20 off your first purchase. That is $20 in your pocket, in your wallet, all for you. And you're damn right. I make them say, when I show for SeatGeek. So, guys, be sure to save $20 off your first purchase today by checking out SeatGeek. Link in the description. Code REALTAKE. How was that, Kenny? Anyway, yeah, no, this $10 isn't going to do it, bro. I need you to add like 3-4 more zeros to that, and then maybe I can get some nosebleed tickets. Maybe. We're going to have 10,000 more. We can have nosebleed. That's what I'm saying. $10 isn't going to do nothing. Shout out to Kenny. It's like Ryan Davis said, wait, WWE are inducting a match? Yes. They're inducting a fucking match in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not against it, but it's so like blatant that it's just to get like the names in there. That's it. It's nothing to do with like the moment itself. So Roman likes the orange fascist. What a disappointment. I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, I don't know why people. I mean, look, here's the thing, man. I agree with not with Roman. I agree with you, Carrico. But I'm not surprised that Triple H and Roman are Trump supporters, right? Like, they're rich. Rich people tend to support Trump. It's just the way it is. But that's why we got CM Punk. Shout out to CM Punk. Free Palestine. Yeah, yes, WWE, Ryan, are inducting a freaking match. Insane, bro. Insane. Who is the best comedy on the mic? Mick Foley, Kurt Angle, or Team Hell No, Daniel Bryan? Oh, all right. Make him say, ooh. Because here's the thing. It was definitely going to be Kurt Angle, but then you mentioned Daniel Bryan, the greatest wrestler of all time. Sorry, the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, the greatest wrestler of all time. All right. Look, I love Bryan. I love Bryan, but it's Kurt Angle. It's Kurt Angle, man. It is Kurt Angle. like it's 100% Kurt Angle. Like, I love Mick Foley. I absolutely love Mick Foley. But Kurt Angle 2001 to 2005, by God, that man was funny. That was legitimate comedy, and he did it in a way that didn't make him feel like he wasn't a main eventer. Like, he was hilarious, he was a comedy, whatever, but he'd still whoop that ass. Damn right, free Palestine indeed. LOL. It's pretty, yeah. Inducting a freaking moment. Hey, man, you think MJF versus Lashley at Double or Nothing? I think so, but I think it's going to be one of those, like, it's going to be one of those moments where I think MJF is going to, like, offer himself to Lashley, and it's going to, like, force Lashley to, like, make the decision to like he's going to give Lashley the win, and it's going to, like, make Bobby Lashley, agree with including MJF in the Hurt Syndicate. That's how I think it'll probably go down. Something like that. Wall Street Money says he loves Bryan Danielson. He loves... All right, man. Baited me. I should have read the chat before I pulled it up. Baited me. bro. Bro actually baited me. That's crazy. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else, guys? Let me see if there's any other news that's popping up. News. Jesus. Something wrong with this. Man, you guys have your minds in the gutters. I swear to God. And I even knew it, too. I was like, man. All right, what do we got here? So we're not doom scrolling Twitter, and I know better than to do that in this chat anymore. But we are doom scrolling my my wrestling aggregators list. What do we got here? Jey Uso and the negative reaction he gets from the internet and the positive reaction he gets in the live arenas. The internet wrestling, I don't even know what that is. Is that a person? What y'all look like? Shout out to Jay. That's actually pretty funny. Because if you come see the arenas and feel this in person, you sit behind the keyboard. I don't know what it is, but I'm out there shaking arenas, and you want to be out there because the whole arena gonna be doing this entrance. Okay, yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. Jey Uso is extremely over. Will there be Athena versus Mercedes 2? Yes. I just don't think it'll happen All In. I think the match at All In is going to be Toni Storm versus Mercedes. I think they're probably going to save Athena versus Mercedes for like Forbidden Door or probably one of those bigger shows in the summer. All right. Oh, actually, if you're looking for a preview for SmackDown, advertised for SmackDown Light in Las Vegas, John Cena and Cody Rhodes set to appear. The Street Profits versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the tag team titles. Shout out to them. I almost said Andrade the Giant Battle Royal. Could you imagine Andrade the Giant Battle Royal? It's like Andrade and like a bunch of shorter wrestlers. Like you get Carmelo Hayes in there, Hornswoggle, and like the Andrade the Giant Battle Royal. Whoever can throw Andrade over the top rope wins, Michael. By God. Amazing idea. Book that for LFG. Book the Andrade the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Do it. You got the Andrade the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and a 6-women tag match. Because, by God, look at the talent we got, Michael. These are actually interesting comments by CM Punk. I'm interested to hear y'all's reaction to this. If it were up to me, believe it or not, Rhea, Bianca, and Io would be the WrestleMania main event. I'm not saying which night. I can tell you that if I was in Triple H's spot, I would gravitate towards that. My reasoning is that when is Io ever going to get another chance? Bianca has done it already. It would be great if she got to do it again. Rhea hasn't done it. You look at people that say WrestleMania main event, Rhea Ripley is at the top of the list. That was on the Ringer Wrestling Show. I agree with CM Punk. Honestly, I would put this match as the main event over the other triple threat. Most notably because this one is actually for a championship and that one isn't. How I feel. We also got news on CM Punk's contract in that Ringer interview. CM Punk says WWE is trying to lock him into a new 5-year deal. I've never been more focused, and there's life in wrestling beyond just taking bumps and in the ring. We'll see what happens. I don't plan on. They're trying to get me to sign a 5-year deal. I think that would lock him down pretty much for the rest of his career. Although I do believe Punk's probably going to wrestle past 50. Oh, dear. Okay, this is the other one, because now you're okay, this is the other thing. About, like, opening up the can of worms on politics, because CM Punk is going to tell you exactly how he feels, WWE, and that's what you're doing, man. And look, if you're cool with it, that's fine. Just don't be telling Mark Shapiro that when he's like, why haven't we extracted as much value from this show? We got CM Punk's comments. This is, I think, not a direct response to Roman, but more so a response to the entire discourse around this. I don't know what people want from us as entertainers. I'm just supposed to quit my job because somebody on Twitter says WWE is a MAGA company. Okay. You're on Lord Elon Musk's fucking Twitter saying stupid shit. Shut the fuck up. What have you done? I've done a lot. I just don't broadcast it. I put my money where my mouth is, and the money I make goes to helping impoverished people. I don't need to write my name on a fucking GoFundMe to make me feel better about being a shitty person. That may have been a shot at Chris Jericho. That sounds like it was a shot against Chris Jericho. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but yikes. Yeah, I mean, okay. Here's the thing. I don't disagree with Punk. Like, it is what it is, man. People, like, no one should expect Punk to quit over that. Like, it is what it is. He also did say this, which I thought were pretty interesting comments. I don't think the company WWE wants us to be outwardly political. I don't think, and I do feel there's probably different rules for different people. I don't talk politics with Triple H, Paul Heyman, Roxanne Perez. It's 24/7 wrestling. I think it's pretty obvious where my politics are. I've never understood Democrat or Republican glazing president. Yeah, I mean, don't glaze. I'll say the thing, man. Stop glazing presidents. Just stop glazing presidents. Like, who cares? Democrat, Republican, most of them are shitty anyway. If you're wearing hats and shirts promoting the president and all that stuff, and we have seen recently all the people who have voted against their best interest because they thought this president was just going to do bad, stupid shit to people they don't like. Yeah, that's true. Where's the lie? Break down the wall. Yo, so one of the funniest things, a recurring thing I'm seeing, right? A recurring thing I'm seeing at these shows, and it's been happening ever since like 2022. Because I remember I went to All Out 2022, and that was like the first AEW pay-per-view I had ever been to. And I remember that there was a guy during the Chris Jericho match. It was dead silent. Sorry, no. There was a guy who was, and I'm not trying to make a caricature of anybody or come in anyone's politics. It is what it is, right? But like, there was this dude who was like objectively an asshole. Like, I'm not even going to say left, right, or whatever. Objectively an asshole. And he was saying some wild shit like that night. He was like, I was about to go talk to him because I was like, bro, like, calm down. It's wrestling. Enjoy the show. But so he was saying some wild shit all night. And then this dude and he's cheering on Jericho. He's like, that's my Jericho. That's my Jericho. And he tried to, okay, and then the dude tried to start like a Donald Trump chant. I'm just like, bro, what are you doing, man? Like, we're at a wrestling show. Come on. Point is, this dude's been like on it all night. And then we're in the Jericho match. It's dead silent. And this dude's like the only one standing up because he's loving Jericho or whatever. And then this dude in the next section, just at the top of his lungs, the arena is dead silent, screams, "Hey, Jericho, where was your wife on January 6th? Which, in case you didn't know, where do you think? Anyway, shout out to Mama Jericho for that. Jesus. Anyway, excuse me. And then this dude just goes like, "What? I can't believe it." Like, he's like, "I can't believe it." Yes, Jesus Christ. Omer, thank you for the $13.99 Canadian. That is Wall Street money telling me to stop talking politics. No, but it's like that's my point. I shouldn't be here talking about politics, but I am, because everyone in WWE keeps opening their mouths about politics. WWE, stop talking about politics. Especially if you don't have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Anyway, but I appreciate Wall Street Money for the $13.99 super chat. It says, Omer when he talks about politics. Omer when he talks about Bryan Danielson. Snore. Omer when he talks about he loves dry humping. All right. I said it once by accident. And Wall Street Money, ever since then, has been quoting me. Misquoting me. I could sue you. Wall Street Money. I could sue you for defamation. What's a libel? Could sue you for a whole host of things. But I'm not a litigious person because I won't. So I won't. But I need this dry humping shit to stop because you're going to scare people off. Like, people are going to come in here expecting, like, based wrestling takes, as you guys get every single day from me. But then they're going to be like, dry humping? Well, what is this? Omer fans? OF? Anyway. No. But yeah, anyway, that's my point though. I'm like, bro, like they keep talking about it. All right, we're gonna move on to something else. No more politics today. At least for now. All right, no more politics. We're just gonna stick to wrestling. I'm sorry. We're gonna stick to wrestling. This is still a wild quote. It's like it's slander and defamation. Oh, I'm in law school, bro. You should hold on to that $13.99 Canadian if you're in law school. If you're in law school, bro, you're gonna need to hold. Actually, no. Do they have free law school in Canada? I don't think they have free law school, but I'm sure it's like subsidized depending on where you go. Either way, hold on to that money, man. Also, you're in law school. Recession indicator, my friend. We're so cooked. Anyway, but yeah, no, the John Cena Vince McMahon thing was wild. What else happened today? One WWE source noted there were numerous ideas pitched for Chelsea Green to have a United States Open challenge at WrestleMania. Among the names thrown out there were Alexa Bliss and Nikki Bella, according to FightfulSelect.com. Would have been crazy. Also, you know what, Ryan Davis, I appreciate this. I don't care about politics, but Bryan Danielson is one of the greatest wrestlers of ever. It's not even one of. Stop with this one of bullshit. See now, Ryan, you baby mad. I'm not mad because of anything else. How dare you say one of? He is the greatest. He is the GOAT. I'm crazy. This is what happens when I drink like 3/4 of a Baja Blast, guys, on a Friday. My brain is cooked right now. Excuse me. No, but yeah. One thing we can all agree on in this country, Bryan Danielson, truly one of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time. 100%. I'm so fried right now. No, they don't in Canada. It's pay to win. I know in Germany it's free though. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, man. Shout out to you though for the $13.99 Canadian. I really appreciate it. Really, really do. And I really appreciate all of you who have stuck around here. What else we got? So we got WrestleMania, this is T-Mobile Arena tonight. Okay, so they filled out like behind the stage too. That's pretty cool. Gonna have 16,000 in attendance? Nice crowd there. How did GCW do? Excuse me. Okay, GCW cooking. All right, they cooked. That's pretty good for what GCW's been doing recently. Stop. All right, no, stop. Jay said this? Jay said, so this is Jay Uso in the ringer. I'm on the end of my career. I feel like I still have a couple of years left. I still feel strong, but this is the first time I kind of felt the years are catching up on me. I think I'm getting older. I'll be 40 in August. I love wrestling. Wrestling is everything. I'm just getting to the point where I want to venture out a little bit more. So Jay Uso and Roman basically say, man, hey, I'm about to be 40. I'm about to be 40, and it might be time to dip. That's crazy. Also, this was really funny too. Big E was on a Fanatics live stream today, and he basically said that Rusev was returning, even though no one in WWE has officially confirmed that. Jesus, this chat talking about Jay Uso, bro, needs to go back to a tag team. That's wild. So Big E basically just spilled the beans, saying, I reached out to him and he confirmed that the news is indeed true. I don't know when he'll be back. For what it's worth, I expect Rusev to be back either the Raw or SmackDown after Mania. Sarah Stock let go by AEW. That was a wild choice by AEW to do that. All I'll say. Oh, yo, wait, no, so this is really funny. Rollins went off on Meltzer, bro. Hold up, let me see if I can find the clip. Because I do want y'all to hear this. The clip is wild. It's so apparent that Rollins doesn't like Meltzer. It's so apparent. Excuse me. Let me see. I think this is it. I think I found it. All right, yeah. So here's him talking about Dave.
is the star ratings, because they're completely arbitrary. They're not even based on real statistics. It's just one guy watching the match going, whoa, 2 stars, 3.
Nah, bro. The Meltzer face is crazy, though. The Meltzer, like, yo, Seth, hold up. I think I gotta pull this up. Why did he do Uncle Dave like this? Why, Seth? Why would you do Uncle Dave like this, Seth? Seth! Oh, that's an ad. Seth! Gosh, why did he do Uncle Dave like this? Shout out to Uncle Dave.
3.5 stars. Like, what are we talking about? At least.
Yo, it's Rollins calling out Dave was really funny. I ain't gonna lie. What do we got here? We got some questions here. You think it's possible AJ Styles ends his career as AEW champion, wins that contract up? Contract is supposed to be up this year, as of the last reporting that I had seen. Will he be AEW champion? He could be. I don't know if that's in the cards, but he could be. He will if he does appear in AEW, I fully expect him to at least have a very high profile challenge for that belt at some point. Punk versus Drew match should have been a 6-star match. The final one was in my match of the year list. I thought it was it was easily the WWE match of the year. Like, the only matches that came close in WWE for me to that match were Sammy versus Gunther, and then a match that I should have had in my top 10 matches of the year last year that I goofily didn't have. The Bayley versus Io Sky match at Mania. That was a fantastic match, and in my view, it was like a better match than Roman versus Cody, which I know is a controversial opinion, but it is what it is. But yeah, no. Drew versus Punk was insane. Can comedy elevate talent? Because I feel like R-Truth could have been the Judgment Day version of Sami Zayn. They didn't go all the way with it. I agree. Yeah. I think, and that's how that's like a very good point. I think comedy can go a long way into endearing you, not only as a character, but endearing you to the broader fan base. I think that's kind of what happened with Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. That comedy and that chemistry that they had was very special. And I don't think it could have been easily replicated with even R-Truth and the Judgment Day. It kind of has to be natural, but you could tell that there was like a natural chemistry there, and it came across on screen. You felt it as a fan, and I certainly think that the comedy and the lightheartedness of those segments helped humanize the Roman Reigns character, helped humanize the Jey Uso character, helped humanize the Jimmy Uso character. If it wasn't for that, I don't think Jay is as big as he is right now. If it wasn't for that, I don't think Roman is as well liked as he is right now. Are you going to watch Stand and Deliver? Not until after Mania. I have a very busy weekend, unfortunately, so I won't be able to watch it until after Mania weekend, or after the Mania stuff. I'm prioritizing WrestleMania like over everything this week, but I'll get to like it Monday. I'll get to it on Monday. We got anything else? Let's see. Any other news? Should I doom scroll on live? Not going to do that. Ryan Davis. I don't watch WWE TV, but I do watch their pay-per-views. And the last 2 Kevin Steen matches, really good. Yo, you're going to get the E-drones really mad. Like, it's Kevin Owens, not Kevin Steen, you mark. You're going to get the E-drones really upset. Calm down, man. Don't do it to yourself. But my God, don't do it. Don't do it. You son of a gun. That no good son of a gun. John Cena. Yo, hold up. I did watch like this John Cena like. Hold up. Let me see. There was this like video I watched where it was like basic. Oh, I found it. So there was this dude who basically did a JR impression of like the John Cena heel turn, and I thought it was like one of the funniest things I've seen. And I love a good JR impression, and this guy's pretty good.
Like, and ladies and gentlemen, you see it there. The main event of WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena. What's going on here? The Rock. What the hell?
What the hell?
What? What? Why? John Cena, you son of a bitch! Why? Why? You son of a bitch! How could you? Cody Rhodes has been betrayed with John Cena!
Yo.
You son of a bitch!
Yo, nah, that was... Yo, who is this? Is this the dude who made him? I mean, if it is you, man, Mason, yo, shout out to you. Shout out to whoever made this. By God, John Cena, you're no good son of a... damn it. I love it, man. I love it. Jim Ross is truly like... When people say he's the voice of professional wrestling, it's so true. It is so true. He is... There is no... I don't think there's a commentator in the history of pro wrestling that touches JR. I'm going to say it. There is not a commentator who added more to moments, who hooked you more to moments than JR. He is the best. Not even close. Shout out to Michael Cole. Shout out to Mauro Ranallo. Shout out to Gordon Soley. Shout out to all of the greats. Tony Schiavone, all of them. Bro, ain't nobody touching Jim Ross. Jim Ross at his peak was wild. And the hatred he had for Triple H was crazy. Like, you're no good son of a god. Austin is besmirched. How dare you, Triple H? God damn it, why, Triple H? Tell me why, you damn it, son of a bitch. Like, amazing. Amazing, bro. Yeah, he was saying, Ryan said, bro, killed it. Yeah, that was a good video. It was a really good impression, too. Imagine Excalibur, Michael Cole, and commentary. Oh, that would be so wild. Can you imagine that? Michael Cole be like, hello, welcome back to WWE Monday Night Raw. We're joined here by AEW commentator Excalibur. And Excalibur, for those of you who don't know, is a former AEW wrestler. AEW commentator. And this is his first time joining the WWE universe, presented by Snickers. Excalibur, what are your thoughts on Dude Wipes, our sponsor for the evening? And Excalibur's like, let me tell you something, Michael. I have a feeling that Dude Wipes... Like, I'm mad. Excalibur does deadass sound like Mojo Jojo when he's like running down a card. Does he not? Does he not? Like, shout out to Excalibur. I actually like his commentary and I enjoy it. But it's so funny when he be running down like, it's like, and next week we have Mina Shirakawa facing Toni Storm for the AEW Women's World Championship. I, Mojo Jojo, will be taking on the Powerpuff Girls, and the city of Townsville will wreak in horror. Like, I'm just like, bro, like he is Mojo Jojo. Shout out to Mojo. Mojo, no Raleigh. Oh man, what else we got? What else we got cooking, guys? What else we got cooking? I'm having fun now. Y'all activated fun me. See, the politics all went out. Now it's just fun. Now it's fun time. Now it's the fun hour. Oh man, speaking of, we got some Dave Meltzer star ratings. We want to talk about those. So we got the Josh Alexander Hangman Page match, 4.25 star. I'm not gonna say no. 4.5 star for the Spring Breakthrough match. Again, I'm not gonna say no. But like, it is. You're gonna get people talking that way. I got Wrestling Observer Newsletter reporting. There's been talks in WWE regarding Mariah May coming in, and with it being known by key people at WWE is in belief that she wants to come in. Yeah. I truly believe that that's going to happen. Apparently, Mariah May made it clear the time of her trilogy match with Toni Storm at Revolution, she was not signing a new deal, a new AEW deal, so they booked it at that time for that reason. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Pac is... What's this news on Pac? Pac's injury was believed to be serious when it happened, but nothing has been heard on what the MRI showed. There's talk this week that he'd be out 4 months, but that was preliminary. All right. Wall Street Money says, we need Tony Khan on commentary. All right. And now, a special guest here in WWE. We have Jacksonville Jaguars executive, WWE fan, Tony Khan. Hello, Tony. How are you feeling today? The day, Monday Night Raw, represented and sponsored by Dude Wipes. Wipe your ass clean with Dude Wipes. Let me tell you, Tony, you already have a mic. It's a WWE mic. Well, I brought this one from home, and I just wanted to say, it's great to be here in WWE. Let's frickin' go. How dare y'all say I'm not a serious media member? We got Ryan Davis said no, we don't. Well, you got it, Ryan. You got it. All right. I think we're good. Are we good? We'll just run down some of the rest of the news. New Japan was aware of Jeff Cobb leaving. The Goto match was made to give Goto a strong win we knew that. Yeah, no, this Naito situation is kind of insane to me. So Naito just left New Japan. Multiple people who work within New Japan Pro Wrestling expressed being surprised when the announcement was made that Tetsuya Naito was leaving the company. Nobody had any insight as to why he's leaving, just expressed shock that it really happened. More than one person there suggested that Naito may come back for sporadic shows, but nobody really knows. It was believed to be a money issue and that he wanted more than they were willing to pay, and his drawing and merchandise sales. Oh, shit. I thought there was a spider. I got spooked. It was believed to be a money issue and that he wanted more money than they were willing to pay, and his drawing and merchandise sales were way down from the peak. Yeah, the Naito situation, this is weird because, he's not going to AEW. I know that's what a lot of people are going to assume. I don't assume that he would go to AEW. I don't think AEW would be wise for AEW to sign him because, what are you going to do with Naito? If we're being honest. The whole point of Naito in AEW would probably be maybe him coming in as a trainer. Because, I love Naito. I'm a huge Naito fan. It was a dream come true when I got to see him perform live at Forbidden Door. But at the same time, he's not the same guy as he was. And for AEW, he is more of an attraction guy. He is more fitting coming in as a Forbidden Door guy than he would be as a talent. So, and I don't think WWE would sign him. So, I don't know. That's a very interesting situation. Remember when Cody was on commentary in the COVID era? Yo, those Atlanta Dynamites are a fever dream. When those couple episodes of Dynamite that they filmed in, I believe it was somebody's gym. It wasn't Cody's gym. It was somebody's gym. That was crazy. I miss when WWE was always sponsored by Castrol GTX. It was back in the day, it was Castrol GTX. It was just for men. And then there was one other one that would constantly be a part of it. It's Castrol GTX just for men, and then one other I know they had the pimple cream or whatever, but I'm not talking about that one. There was one other continuous sponsor they had. And I know Snickers always did WrestleMania. Hold up. Let me see. WWE sponsors 2005. Let's see. What else we got? Come on. Okay, I'm on a... all right, we're on a Reddit thread now. Here, this is where it gets weird. Oh, dude, the Dude Wipes thing is really funny, I gotta say. The Dude Wipe thing is really fun. I'm not gonna click on anything there. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. What does it say? Sponsors and wrestling go hand in hand. Jesus. Oh, God, please. Was that? I have to cut that now. Sponsors and wrestling go hand in hand from Feds in Japan. WBD projects. Super Beta Prost. Jesus. 1-800-COLLECT. That. Oh, God. Stacker. That was a TNA one. Stacker was a TNA one. They were always sponsored by KFC or Taco Bell for the main event. Yeah, they did used to have the Taco Bell stuff. I mean, I got the Taco Bell stuff right now. Roll Tide. But seriously, first time I ever seen a Subway in the flesh, I was in the city. Redo. Seriously, first time I ever seen a Subway in the flesh, I was in awe. Only ever seen them sponsor WWF back in the day, and being in the UK, I couldn't believe my young eyes. Yo, so that foot long was like, oh. Yo, was like, oh, that foot. You about to eat. Yo, you remember? Didn't I'm not gonna get into that. What do we got here? Okay, hear me out. I don't need to see Naito in AEW. We already have a stacked roster, unless Ring of Honor gets a TV deal and he goes there. Yeah, but like, you know, I think it would depend on the contract, right? I would have no problem with Naito being a Ring of Honor guy and then doing sporadic stuff in AEW, doing sporadic stuff in New Japan. But it would depend on how much care is actually put into that whole thing and his run there, and how much, and honestly, how much exposure Ring of Honor would have at that point. That is really funny, Sax. It's like, yeah, Subway was a big WWE spot. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. I think it may have been Subway. I think you're right. It may have been Subway. Excuse me. My boy said I couldn't believe my young eyes. Oh, man. All right, guys. My young eyes need some sleep. I am woefully cooked. I have so much stuff to do. I gotta go buy a suit. It's gonna be a fun time. All right, guys. As always, this is fun. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I'll probably drop another video probably some point later on tonight, maybe tomorrow, previewing Mania or whatever the big news story is. Hopefully you guys are liking the new formats of the video essays that I'm doing. You know, I thought I'd change it up. They seem to be doing really well, and I honestly enjoy these than trying to hunt down like a big news story every day. I think these streams are probably a lot better for stuff like that. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the new formats and all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to play around with them. Let me know any ways that I can make them better. What else you might say? Yo, I bought a suit yesterday too. Shout out to you. My boy's going to need it. Boy's going to law school. He's going to need it. Shout out to you, my guy. If I'm ever in Canada, I'll hit you up if I get in trouble with law, but I don't plan on it. I like how Naito's entrance, he wears a suit. Yo, that's what I'm saying, bro. Naito, that's why I'm getting a suit. It's because Naito. I want to just walk out as Naito. That's like Rollins. Every time he wears a suit, he's just doing a Naito cosplay. Man. All right, this was a fun time, guys. Yeah, y'all are awesome. Y'all are great. Wall Street Money, Ryan Davis, everyone else in the chat, from Jay Barnacles to Kenny Baum. Shout out to Kenny Baum. Shout out to Caracol. Shout out to everybody. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are wonderful, and I appreciate y'all's support. It's Mania week. Look, a lot of bullshit out there. A lot of stuff's happening. Mania, the build to Mania is really bad, but there's a ton of ways to watch Mania. There's a ton of ways to enjoy the time, enjoy the moments. Just enjoy wrestling, man. If you got a match you're really into, you might not be into anything else on the card, watch that match. That's the best part about wrestling these days. It's so accessible. It's so out there that you can kind of pick and choose what you watch. So go pick and choose something from Mania. That's your homework assignment, kids. Go pick and choose one thing of Mania you really want to watch and watch it. That's the beauty of wrestling right now. All right, guys. I got to pop out. Until next time, I'm McHugh for Real Take Wrestling. Be happy, be healthy. As always, keep it real. Free Palestine. Until next time. Bye, guys.